What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the overall market moving forward, how things are looking, my personal opinion, not to mention some very, very big pieces of data that are coming out, which could affect the markets. We also just had the FOMC meeting, so I'm going to break down some things that Jerome Powell said and how things are looking as well. But just notes that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15, and the offer ends very soon in just about 5 hours from now. Anyways, for NIO, we have a very, very interesting looking structure. We saw a little bit of a dip so far trying to hold our 50 EMA, but the market's going to likely try to push tomorrow, in my opinion, which could actually help NIO. So I'm going to break down why that is. Looking at the market right now, we're kind of bullish looking in terms of our setups, and we have more upside potential, so I'll talk about that. Let me just note that right now, when it comes to the Fed, we have some very, very interesting data. The Fed has kept interest rates the same, and this is no surprise. We were expecting this, but now after Jerome Powell's speech, we're seeing a big shift. The market is now expecting a Fed rate cut in September during the September FOMC meeting. The next one, we're expecting cuts. There's a 90% chance of that, and this is very, very important news. So, what did Jerome Powell say that's so important? I'm just going to give you guys a summary of what he said. Basically, he's implying that as long as the data that comes out is decent, it does not surprise the Fed. Right now, the data that's coming out for the labor market is not too bad because he said that at the current 4.1% unemployment rate, it's not too bad. And on top of that, we're seeing lots and lots of signs that inflation is slowing, and the Fed's getting more and more confident that they could be cutting rates very soon. But they need more data to confirm this. They'll be waiting to see. But he said if we keep getting good data, then yes, they're going to likely do a cut in September. And that's some very, very bullish news. The market's actually responding very bullishly. Now, on top of this, I just want to mention that Powell also was asked about the soft landing or the hard landing. He said that right now a hard landing is unlikely. And when asked about a 25 or 50 basis point cut, he has not had a conclusion yet. The Fed is still determining what they're going to be doing. So there was a lot of uncertainty, but Jerome Powell was a little bit more on the dovish side. He did imply that the Fed is making a lot of progress. He was actually very, very optimistic about the economy, and he said some important things about how they have to continue to monitor the labor market and such. Now, the labor market is still not doing as, I would say, it's not doing horrible, like relative to how like some people thought it was going to be. So far, it's been decent. The economy is holding up, and he's implying that inflation has been on a nice downtrend. Progress is being made, and the Fed is getting closer to a potential cut. But once again, it's not confirmed. They just have to wait and see what the data suggests. As long as we get good data continually in the September meeting, they will most likely cut as long as the data remains good. So that was bullish for the markets. That's why the market started to push. But once again, there's a 90% chance we get a cut in September. The market is loving this. And then we had another catalyst that's going to be Meta's earnings. I want to talk about this real quick because this is another positive catalyst. Okay. Meta is up currently 7%. This is bullish news. They beat on EPS with $5.16. Revenues will be at $39 billion. Guidance is also increasing. They gave a guidance from about 38.5 to about $41 billion or 39.75 billion, which is the middle of the range, which is above the forecast of $39.1 billion. Second quarter revenue growth is up 22%. We're seeing lots of continued growth, and we're seeing a lot of expenditures kind of decreasing. So we're seeing some very, very nice looking improvements. That's why the share price is on fire. On top of this, when it comes to the economic calendar, I just want to mention that for tomorrow, before the market opens, we have initial jobless claims and some labor numbers coming out. Then 15 minutes after the market ends up opening, we have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, the ISM Manufacturing PMI. So expect some volatility around 10 o'clock a.m. We have the ISM Manufacturing New Orders and Prices, which is important for inflationary data. But so far, the technicals look very bullish approaching this. So look for some volatility after the market ends up opening tomorrow. As far as NIO goes, we're still seeing a lot of talk about their AI chips as they're getting lots and lots of growth and a lot more, developments. I think this is going to be very bullish for the company as a whole. On top of this, we had some Chinese registrations come out, and for the month of July, NIO is looking pretty good at 5,400 registrations for that final week. Well, it's not the final week; it's the week ending on the 21st. And so far, they did 21,000 deliveries in June, by the way, beating May's previous record. They also delivered 57,000 vehicles in the second quarter. So right now, we're expecting basically around 21,000 units to be sold in July. That's actually not bad whatsoever. That would be very, very bullish. And so far, I want to make it very clear that right now things are looking pretty good for their new orders. Right now, we're seeing a lot of registrations. New order flow forecast is to be around 22,000 units, which is not too bad whatsoever. but also in line with their policy and in line with their growth. So things are looking pretty good, at least for NIO. We're expecting some nice growth, and this could actually lead to a nice bounce in the share price. The data will be out very soon for the registrations as we're at the end of July, and tomorrow is going to be the start of August 1st, so I can't wait to see what they end up reacting. I also want to mention that volume is at about 33 million. So that's a little bit below average. Short volume is also dipping a little bit. And then for Bank of America Securities, we have a neutral rating, not to mention the price price ratio dipping. And so far, things are looking pretty good in terms of seasonality. So, what do I see for NIO? Honestly, guys, NIO is looking a little bit more bullish. I'm going to be watching to see if we could break past 4.5. If that breaks, we could be looking for a push all the way up towards 4.6 tomorrow as we have a nice accumulation structure. This could be forming like a cup and handle. So, I favor upside a little bit more. If we were to lose 4.4, we could be dipping back down, but that's looking less favorable. We're favoring kind of like a cup and handle and maybe a little push back up towards above 4.5. For other tickers out there, I just want to mention that for Tesla, Tesla's also looking a little bit more bullish. We have a cup and handle like structure. We have 235 as our resistance, and we're trying to break past our 200 EMA. If we hold above 232.4, I'll be looking for a push all the way up towards 240. We're looking more bullish from a technical standpoint, so I do favor upside. To be bearish, you want to see it lose 225, but this favors upside looking at technicals. So it's looking pretty good as long as there's no bad news. SPY is breaking out, got a nice double bottom. This is favoring a move up to about 556. If we were to lose 547, we turn bearish, but this is not favoring that. It looks like it wants to go up to 556 after we had bullish news from the Fed, not to mention Meta's earnings. So we look more bullish. For Nvda, we're looking bullish as well, breaking past 120. This has a target of all the way up to about 124. This could also start to climb. It's looking pretty good in my personal opinion. On top of this, we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been dipping just a bit. It's showing some weakness while the market's showing some strength. So we're seeing some money exiting the crypto space and kind of entering a lot more equities. Could be dipping down towards 64,000 flats, and we'll see if we bounce or not on Bitcoin. So far, so good from the share price. For others out there, we have the QQQ. The QQQ is also trying to push. Thanks to Meta, it's on fire. This could continue to go all the way up to not just 476, but also into the 480 area. We look very bullish on the QQQ. Apple's also getting a boost thanks to Meta. I think we're going to be testing not just 225, but approaching earnings, right? I think we're easily going up to about 225. I think that the IWM Russell 2000 is going to try to break out. We're going to be looking for a test of 226 soon. We're looking pretty good with the nice accumulation structure, so we look more bullish. Coinbase is just barely holding up, so we'll have to see if 222 holds. If we lose that, we could come down to fill our gap all the way down here towards 220. If we try to rebound, we'll be looking for basically 229. There's a bit of a downtrend here, so we do favor downside, so we'll just have to see how things go. For Amazon, we have this 190 areas resistance. If this breaks, we could be pushing all the way up towards like this gap fill around 192. We look more bullish on Amazon, in my opinion. So it favors upside. Meta is favoring upside. It's just exploding right now towards the 510s. If it breaks that, I think we could be going all the way up towards 520. Looks more bullish to me. For Microsoft, we're trying to push in the after hours. We're going to be testing 420. We'll see if that breaks or not. So far, I expect it to just be tested. And then Google's kind of dipping, but I think that we could try to rebound. As long as we hold above 172.2, we could be looking for a pushback up to 174. For GameStop, we're trying to rebound. I think that this could try to make a higher high and higher low and try to push for 22.89. If that breaks, we'll be pushing higher. And then for AMC, we're looking for a nice little rebound. There's a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. This could be pushed for 5.5. So we'll just have to see how things end up going. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collect, and just know that right now, NIO and the market are favoring upside for tomorrow as we got some bullish news thanks to FOMC and Meta's earnings. So we have two bullish catalysts that favor the market trying to push higher. So long as there's no bad news tomorrow for the overall market, we are favoring the upside on the charts and also because of all these other pieces of news. All right, that's it for this one. One more thing worth mentioning is that for earnings for tomorrow, we have Moderna in the morning, and then after market close, we have Amazon, Apple, Intel, and Coinbase. Just want to give you guys a heads up about that for tomorrow. With that being said, get ready. I anticipate some nice price action tomorrow, and we'll see how things go. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and peace out.